If you want to grow as a belly dancer, you need to expose yourself to a range of dancers, dance styles, and teachers. An easy way to do this is to attend workshops. Scary? It doesn't need to be. I'll help you through it. Hi, I'm Kashmir, and I'd been studying belly dance for 2 years before I went to my first workshop. And it was a scary experience. I had to travel out of town. No big deal, I was doing that for work, but no, you still had to do it. It was with an international teacher, Asha Ali. I had to arrange my accommodation and flights, and there'd be all these dancers there that I didn't know, and I didn't know if I was good enough. I didn't know if I'd make a fool of myself. I survived with only one major mess up, and that is I didn't bother to go to the show. I went to the movies instead. So I never got a chance to see Asha Ali dancing, but that's life. So if you want to go to a workshop, and I suggest you do, what do you need to think about? Let's start with some terminology. What exactly is a workshop? How is it different from a class? For a start, a workshop tends to be a wee bit longer than a class. So 2 hours is probably a short workshop. I have seen them an hour and a half. That's very short. 2 hours to 4 hours is quite common. There may be a series of workshops, in which case it may be connected together with a theme, or there may be a guest teacher. So a teacher may come and do, say, 4 workshops in a weekend, one teacher with 4 different topics, or there may be a single topic and there be multiple teachers teaching it, or it may be just a collection, like a collection of people who come together for an event. You know, let's have a workshop in Waikakamukau to extend the knowledge of teachers and students. So that's a workshop. Related to a workshop is a festival. So a festival tends to be a group of workshops. Often with a festival you can actually choose this workshop or that workshop. You may not have a choice, but there may be a dozen different workshops you can go on at the same time, so you have to think about it. A festival also usually includes things like a show, some social time, a bit of shopping, so it's more of a rounded package. Then there are dance camps. So a dance camp is usually live-in, and you wake up in the morning and you do dance stuff with the same people, and you do it all day and then all evening, and then you get up the next morning and you do it again. Dance camps often are 2 nights, sometimes 3 nights. They're not often much longer than that. What does get to be longer is an intensive. So an intensive, it might be 4 days as a short intensive. I've been to quite a few 8-day intensives. So the winter warm-up was an 8-day intensive, and that is that you had 8 days of workshops, plus social events, plus shows, and so you worked continuously on a narrow focus. And for the winter warm-up, it was Egyptian style dance. So you are looking through your phone and you see some great workshops. How do you choose? The first thing is money. As I said earlier in the student one, if you've got a choice between spending your money on a costume and a workshop, go for the workshop, even though the workshop is about the same price as a really good pro costume. So money is important. Can you afford it? How do you need to budget for it? But you don't have to go to every workshop that's available. And these days there are a lot of workshops around. First thing to look at is the teacher. Is the teacher someone you can learn from? Now, if you're an experienced dancer, you may be looking for someone with really good performance skills who can actually project on the stage. If you're a beginner, go for a teacher who can teach. Now, they may not be the most charismatic dancer, but you've got to make sure they can teach. And not only teach, but they've got something to teach. All the enthusiasm in the world is no good if they can't actually teach you anything. So teacher's important. Next is the topic. If the topics don't interest you and you know what they are, don't go. If you don't know what the topics are, find out, because otherwise you're not going to expand your knowledge of belly dance. Because if you've never heard of Saidi, you think, oh, well, I don't know what that is. I don't think I'll go to that. I want to do one with lots of shimmies and hip drops. Well, it's an important part of your education, so go. But if you've tried Sadie before, you've done 3 or 4 workshops and you think, nah, I'm over it, then don't. So the topic is really, really important. Next is the level. If it's being taught at too high a level or too low a level, you're possibly wasting your time and money. But there is some flexibility in there. So a beginner being exposed to what real belly dancers do may actually lift his or her game. On the other hand, a really experienced dancer going to a more basic workshop can work on basic technique, and you can always work on basic technique. There's no limit to how much you can do there. But there may be prerequisites. So if they say you must be able to do this or you must have this experience, don't go if you don't have it. I was at a very embarrassing workshop many years ago where it was something to do with zills. I can't remember what it was. But basically the people who turned up to the workshop couldn't even play a triple. So we couldn't do anything that was actually planned because the basics weren't there. Now sometimes what a teacher will do is then they'll teach to the lowest level, and the people who have actually got the prerequisites will be really annoyed. And other times they'll just say, look, tough, I told you you had to be able to do this, this and this. You can't do it, just do the best you can. So prerequisites are really important. Okay, so you're all ready now and you've chosen your workshop. What next? I'll be following up on the next video on how to prepare for your workshop.